fucking loud. Anyway. Okay, 11 o'clock. So welcome to Randsanity, episode 267, T-minus 98 days to 1 full year of doing this. 1 year means I've done this every single night for a year. I have not missed one yet. Some have been short, like when I was on the road or in a car. But yes, so don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, watch, and share. Like, follow, subscribe are the important ones. And watching and sharing is good too. So let's talk about Summerfest. They just announced Summerfest. Summerfest happens every year in Milwaukee. It's been happening for decades. Many years ago, we used to call our summertime show Summerfest. And then I forget the band. There was a band that was playing both our show and their show. And there was confusion apparently to somebody. We got a cease and desist from Summerfest saying, we're the official Summerfest. You can't be called Summerfest, blah, 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 blah. And we were like, all right, whatever. It was not the first cease and desist. It was not the last. But yes, so Milwaukee has their Summerfest thing. But this has been going on for a long time. It's probably one of the biggest festivals that happens in the entire United States, I think, when it comes to it. It goes over 3 weekends. This one, it has like an insane number of bands. June 16th and 17th is Garth Brooks, 2 nights. Then on June 18th and 20th, you've got headliners are Megan Maroney, Don Toliver, and Karen Leon. You're like, well, who's that? I'm not really sure who they are either. But then you've got Charlie Wilson, Passion Pit, Third Eye Blind, Hot Mulligan, Father John Misty, Styx, David Lee Roth. The Academy is Tosh Sultans, Connor Price, Fitburn, Nat Smith, Jeremiah, Eminem, and the Sniffers, Chris Cross, Karen Waycomb, Equin the Bunnymen, the Family Stone, and then there's a bunch of Don Felder, and then there's a bunch of modern English. What else? Let's see. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Let's see. Dream Syndicate. Cigarettes at Sunset. Panic. Blah, blah, blah. Post-Sex Nachos. And that's the first weekend. Okay? That's the first weekend. Then you have the second weekend, which is June 25th and 27th. Headliner is Ed Sheeran, Cody Johnson, and Post Malone. And now their secondary bands are The Roots, The Subtronics, Tucker Wetmore, so it's like Kaleo, The Revivalists, Gene Simmons Band, Group Love, Wolf Mother, Hailstorm, Pepper, Little Feat, The Mountain Goats, Borns, Goldfinger, Robert Randolph, Vertical Horizon, Old 97s, 10,000 Maniacs, Freddie Jones Band, Hank Azaria and the Easy's Bands, Harper O'Neill, Lisa Loeb, let's see, the Aces, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, and Tracy Bonham. Okay, that's the second week. And then there's a third weekend, which is July 2nd to the 4th. Headlining Muse, Alex Warren, and Jelly Roll. And the secondary bands with this one, All Time Low, Megadeth, Spoon, there's Spoon, Flo Rida, The Temper Trap, Stephen Marley, Rev Run of Run DMC, Candlebox, Jim Blossoms, The Bodines, The Beths, Baha Men, Buck Cherry, the Jayhawks, Joywave, Kenny Hoopla, Living Color, Sister Hazel, Soul Asylum, Spin Doctors, The Heavy, blah, blah, blah. So it's nuts. I mean, that's an undertaking right there. Okay. 3 weekends in a row. And I mean, that's an unbelievable amount of bands. Okay. So it's the 3-weekend Summerfest with 2 nights with Garth Brooks, kicking off the American Family Insurance Amphitheater, the festival's largest stage on June 16th, 17th. So this is, again, June 18th and 20th, June 25th and 27th, July 2nd and 4th. 58th anniversary, okay? It's this multi-genre lineup, community engagement, and affordable pricing. It's an independent music festival. It's just kind of crazy. It's the Milwaukee World Festival, Inc. that announced it. And they want to welcome fans from around the globe to celebrate this. Artists that perform at this 23,000-seat amphitheater. Again, I kind of went through the list. 12 stages throughout the permanent 75-acre festival grounds along Lake Michigan. That's a big spot, 75 acres. So you definitely can miss a band or two trying to get from one side to the other without a question. But I mean, some of the bands, I would go see this for sure. I don't know if I could make 3 weeks in a row. I mean, yeesh, that's nuts. But now this is what's crazy though, okay? For a limited time through midnight on February the 25th, in 2 days, the T-Mobile 9-day Power Pass is available. Ready for this one? $58. And includes admission for all 9 days of the festival. $58 for GA for 9 days. I mean, it's almost worth buying it just to have the ticket. Say that, yeah, I got a $58 ticket for 100 bands. I mean, that's crazy. It really is. So, I mean, I might just buy a pair of tickets just to have them. Like, yeah, I got Summer Festival. I decided to go to Milwaukee. Why not? I mean, it could be so much worse. So anyway, Summerfest, here it comes. Buy your tickets, $58. Wow. Nuts. All right. What else? Oh, so the Arctic Monkeys, we're in a kind of an Arctic Monkey drought, you know? They haven't released a new album since, The Car in 2002. And diehard fans are getting a little restless. The creative process is, something they have to do, but, we would like to have some music. But, we need some bands to inspire us that are similar. So we want to get to the doubt. Here's some bands that might help. There's a band called The Raytones, Reytons, The Raytons, okay? They formed in 2017 in Rotherham, and their sound has a familiar Monkees vibe that comes not only from the direct influence, but also from a bit of shared South Yorkshire experiences. They released their debut LP, The Kids Off the Estate, in 2021, and while they cover similar themes of small-town life, the Raytones take on a more aggressive approach. Vocally and lyrically, they stay from the adolescent poet's dream of early Arctic Monkeys. Musically, there are similarities to the Monkees' 2006 debut in the driving, relentless guitars and drums. But the Raytones' latest release, Roll the Dice, from December of 25, loses the baby fat and turns toward a more mature guitar sound. They've graduated to tight, precise shredding and cleaner production, proving that they're way more than an Arctic Monkey mimic. Another band is Baby Strange. Baby Strange was formed in Glasgow in 2012 and lasted as a self-funded DIY band until 2023, when they announced the indefinite hiatus. Their last album was World Below, released in 2022, showcasing their varied influences and styles. In the first 3 tracks of the albums, they lean post-punk, dark wave, and then turn to art funk, pop punk. Then cool kid indie rock on the next. The trio was also unique to their purely DIY ethos. Every aspect of the band's creative process was handled by the band's members, from music and video production to the album artwork and logos. From 2014 to 2015, they played several UK festivals, but found the greatest popularity in their hometown scene. They had a few residences at bars, including their own curated nightclub. Overall, Baby Strange has a versatile sound that can fit any vibe, and it's a shame that the state of independent music often leads to these indefinite hiatuses. Next band is Milburn. Milburn formed in Sheffield around 2001, releasing their debut album Well, Well, Well in 2006. They often played the same venues the Arctic Monkeys frequented, as both bands came up around the same time. Milburn even joined the Monkees on their first tour in 2005, mainly as support for the UK shows. While the band broke up in 2008 after their second album, they stayed friends and supported each other in various side projects. In 2016, however, they reunited to celebrate their debut album's 10th anniversary. This led to a third album, Time, released on September in 2017. Lastly, we've got the Royston Club. The Royston Club formed in Wexham in 2019 and released their latest album, Songs for the Spine, in August of 25. They had a bit of post-punk indie rock sound that blends modern styles with classic vibes. There's an airiness to their sound that comes through in both the music and the vocals, and a lightness that's hard to pin down while also kind of grounding. Songs for the Spine is full of great tracks that demonstrate this contradiction. Early Arctic Monkeys did the same thing sometimes, as well as creating a blend of sensitive and emotional music that kept listeners rooted to the spot. An excellent use of skill and definitely a band to watch. So there's a few selections if you're in a little Arctic Monkeys drought. The Royston Club, Milburn, Baby Strange, and of course, the Raytons. Okay? So just a little something. Give you a little something there. Let's see. Oh, so I had a couple of people comment about Kid Rock getting all mad about saying that God will cut down the journalists, the fake liberal media reporting on his $5,000 tour tickets. But like I said, okay, he's all mad saying that God's going to cut the fake liberal media for reporting his $5,000 tickets when earlier in the week, the tickets for his upcoming Freedom 250 tour went on sale and fans were surprised to see the high prices for the first class packages. And they are $5,000. He even says it. You know, he said, he responded to the media and reported and said, tickets, the fake liberal media says I'm charging $5,000 for front row tickets. But he then goes on to confirm that, in fact, this is indeed what he is charging top face value for the tickets. But adds, they know damn well that's not the full story. But how can you be mad if it's the truth? I guess that's the thing. You are charging $5,000 for front row tickets, and $4,000 for second, and $3,000 for third, and $1,000 for just you're mad for what reason? That's what I want to know. Anyway. Kid Rock, I just can't. Oh, shit. All right, let's talk about some history stuff, all right? I'm going to skip that one because I don't really care. That one I don't care about either. And now this one's fun. So in 1965, the Beatles follow up to A Hard Day's Night on location in the Bahamas while working title of 8 Arms to Hold. Other locations for filming included London, Salisbury Plain, the Austrian Alps, New Providence Island, and Twickenham Film Studios. The Beatles' film was inspired by the classic Marx Brothers film Duck Soup. It was also directly satirical of the James Bond series of films. I love that they were shooting it in the same spots, which included the Bahamas. In 1968, Genesis released their debut single, The Silent Sun. The band's earliest seeds were sown at Godalming's Charterhouse boarding school, where the soulful vocal talent of Peter Gabriel impressed pop record producer Jonathan King. Aiming to secure King's approval and the recording contract, Gabriel and Tony Banks wrote together The Silent Sun, knowing that King was a fan of the Bee Gees. Banks and Gabriel wrote the song specifically to capture his attention. That's pretty wild to do that, right? Oh, Elvis. Nothing lasts forever. After nearly 5 years of marriage, Priscilla Presley moved out of Elvis's California home and into a 2-bedroom apartment near the Pacific Ocean. Their divorce would be finalized on October 9th of 1973, with Priscilla being awarded an outright cash payment of $725,000, as well as a spousal support, child support, 5% of Elvis's new publishing companies, and half the income from the sale of their Beverly Hills home. So Priscilla didn't do too badly. You know, she became the queen if she wasn't already. 1974, Rebel Rebel by David Bowie entered the UK charts, reaching number 5 the following month. Originally written for a passed-on Ziggy Stardust musical in late 1973, Rebel Rebel was Bowie's last single in his glam rock style that had been his trademark. It was also his first hit since 1969, not to feature lead guitarist Mick Ronson. Bowie, Bowie, Bowie. Now this one, again, I just saw again when I was at the Nine Inch Nails. They were advertising for this show, AC/DC, playing here in the Ohio Stadium University Horseshoe, July the 15th. So I will be there. In 1976, AC/DC shot the video clip for It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. For the Australian music television program Countdown, it featured the band's then current lineup along with members of the Rats of Tobruk Pipe Band on the back of a flatbed truck traveling on Swanston Road in Melbourne. In May 2001, Australian Performing Rights Association celebrates its 75th anniversary by naming the best Australian songs of all time as decided by a 100-member industry panel. It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll was ranked as the 9th song on the list. Well, I'm sure they'll be playing that this summer, so I look forward to A Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll here in Columbus. In 1980, U2 appeared at the Moonlight Club at the Railway Hotel in London. Tickets cost $10. During this year, the up-and-coming Irish band played many pub and club gigs in London, including the Half Moon, to 12 people. The Marquee, Hope and Anchor, 101 Club, the Rock Garden, Electric Ballroom, and Ding Walls. My first visit to U2 was in 1981. It was when I saw them for the very first time. That's when I got to see U2 the very first time. How crazy is that? In 1985, the Smiths recorded their first UK #1 album with Meat is Murder. The album's sleeves uses a 1960 photograph of Marine Corporal Michael Wynn in the Vietnam War, though with the wording on his helmet changed from Make War, Not Love to Meat is Murder. The original image was used for the Emile D'Antonio's 1968 documentary In the Year of the Pig. Interesting. Well, we all know that Mr. Morrissey is not a fan of meat. Still, does not allow it in venues when he plays. He does not allow meat in the dressing room where people can't bring in meat and burgers and any of that stuff. He gets very, very angry about that. So there is no meat because it is murder when Mr. Morrissey is in the house. In 1985, Stevie Wonder was arrested during an anti-apartheid demonstration outside the South African embassy in Washington. He was released after being questioned by police. Oh, Stevie Wonder, come on, leave the man alone. He's blind, for God's sakes. Can I tell you? In 1998, of course, and it's not the Stone Roses, so you know it has to be something bad when it's Oasis. 1998, all members of Oasis were banned for life from flying Cathay Pacific Airlines after abusive and disgusting behavior during a flight from Hong Kong to Perth, Australia. How does that work when you get banned for life? Especially if like you're on the no-fly list nowadays. I mean, you don't travel anymore. Like you're stuck. You have to drive. You can't vacation. I mean, I don't know. That seems like that would be quite the inconvenience. Just saying. The Bee Gees made their last ever concert appearance on this day when they appeared at the Love and Hope Ball in Miami Beach, Florida in 2002. Oh, the Bee Gees. In 2003, Howie Epstein, not related to the Epstein files, bassist with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, died of a suspected drug overdose. What is going on with that? You're too old to do that. You're 47 years old. You don't get to die of a drug overdose like some cheese-eating high school boy. Damn it. He was replaced by the Heartbreakers' original bassist, Ron Blair. He worked with Bob Dylan, Johnny Cash, Stevie Nicks, Roy Orbison, Carl Perkins, Linda Ronstadt, and Del Shannon. What are you doing, man? You can't OD when you're 47. That's not how it works. You're supposed to know what your limitations are at that point, right? In 2003, Norah Jones cleaned up to the 45th annual Grammy Awards at Madison Square Garden. New York City, the singer and songwriter won Album of the Year and Record of the Year with Don't Know Why, Song of the Year, Best New Artist, and Best Female Pop Vocal for Don't Know Why. Other winners included, does it matter? John Mayer, Best Rock Vocalist, Bruce Springsteen, Female Sheryl Crow, Rock Performance by Coldplay, and Album Eminem. But yes, Norah Jones, man, took it all. Just took it away. Now, this is just horrible. In 2003, the News of the World reported that Michael Jackson had undergone scores of painful operations to strip his body of his black skin until he appeared white. And the surgeons at a Santa Monica clinic eventually refused him any more treatments. An insider told the paper that Jackson had been anesthetized on a weekly basis to have his skin peeled and bleached. I get a hangnail and I'm bummed out. Can you imagine have your skin peeled? And no. I don't think I want to pay for that. Thank you so much. That's just no. Mm-mm. In 2010, London's Abbey Road Studios was made a list building, protecting it from plans to radically alter it. Cultural Minister Margaret Hodge listed the studios on the advice of English Heritage, saying it had produced some of the very best music in the world. The Beatles used Abbey Road for 90% of the recordings. The studio was originally named EMI Studios. They changed the name to Abbey Road Studios in 1970 because of the Beatles album. Yeah, you can't tear icons like things down like that. Speaking of Jacksons, Jermaine Jackson officially changed his last name to Jackson. Instead of Jackson, he changed it to Jacksun. The third oldest member of the Jackson Five, who's unofficially took the name Muhammad Abdul Aziz upon his 1989 conversion to Islam, said he was making the new changes for artistic reasons. Okay, fair enough. You can do that. In 2017, Jay-Z was set to become the first rapper ever inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Previous inductees included Marvin Gaye, Bob Dylan, Dolly Parton, Bruce Springsteen, and Michael Jackson, but no rapper had ever made the cut before. Jay-Z would be inducted as part of the Hall's class of 2017 alongside Max Martin, who had written songs for Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, and Ariana Grande. Now, see, that was just me not paying attention. I let the 20 minutes expire because that's what happens. After 20 minutes, for some reason, that camera just expires. I still haven't figured it out. It's a Nikon D5300. So if you know how to make it not stop after 20 minutes, please feel free to tell me. I would love to know. But it does kind of keeps me like, timing. So I know what time it is, if how long I've been doing it. So that does help. It's kind of like a producer man, like shining a little flashlight going, 20 minutes. In 2019, Ariana Grande became the first solo artist to hold the top 3 spots on the Hot 100 in the same week, a feat only previously accomplished by the Beatles. So, not bad, Ariana Grande. In 2025, After years of global domination by stars such as Ed Sheeran, Adele, and Harry Shears, British music artists failed to make it into the worldwide annual charts of the year's top 10 best-selling singles or albums. For the first time in more than 2 decades, the UK's acts featured on either list for 2024 is published by the global music industry body, the IFPI. I don't know what the fuck that stands for. U.S. singer Benson Boone claimed 24's #1 song with Beautiful Things, while Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department was the world's best-selling album. Not too shabby. Again, I don't know Taylor Swift songs, but you always got to credit that woman. She has got it dialed in. She really does. All right, let's see. I talked about Summerfest. I talked about Arctic Monkeys drought, and I talked about Kid Rock being angry. Today's Pinocchio Day, by the way, because today in 1940, on the 23rd of February, is when Pinocchio was released by Disney Studios. Also on this day, the movie The Doors was released in 1991, starring Val Kilmer. And in 1996, Trainspotting. Oh, that's such a good movie. I love Trainspotting. That's one of those movies that if it ever pops on, I watch it. I'm always like, oh yeah, Trainspotting. Even no matter where it is in the movie, I'll jump on and watch it. You know, Ewan McGregor is so good in that. It's just, I don't know. I just dig that movie. I think it's fun. All right, let's see. Born on this day, Johnny Winter. He would have been 82 today. He died in 2014. Now this is the interesting thing. He had albinism. Edgar Winter, his brother, is 79, also has albinism. And they're both musicians, and their last name's Winter. Coincidence? I don't know. Steve Priest of Sweet, Ballroom Blitz, would have been 78 today. He died in 2020. Brad Whitfield of Aerosmith, 74 today. Howard Jones, what is love anyway? Has anybody got it? 73 today. Michael Wilton of Queensryche, 64 today. John Norum of Europe, 62. Peter Fonda, Easy Rider. He would have been 86 today. He died in 2019. Now, this is another one of those fun ones. Today is the birthday, 62 years old, of Dana Catherine Scully. Not the actress, the fictional character. Today's her birthday. Scully was born on 2/23, 1962, or 64. How fun's that? So, yes, today's actually Scully's birthday. Josh Gad, Olaf from Frozen, 45. I met Josh. I went and did a film review, and he was one of the actors in one of the films that I got to review out in L.A. He was very nice. He has colorful socks. Aziz Azarin, 43 years old today. Emily Blunt, also 43. I'm interested to see the new movie that Spielberg, that new Alien movie. It looks like it's going to be pretty good, so I will look forward to that one. And Dakota Fanning, 32 years old today. Let's see. On the death list today, we have Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy. He died at the age of 74 back in 1965. Catherine Hellman, Mona on Who's the Boss. She died in 19. She died at the age of 89. And Howard Epstein, drug overdose at the age of 47 in 03. As I said, too old to be dying of drug overdoses. That's for cheesies and high school boys. Stop that. No drug overdoses. Come on, know your limits. And remember, kids, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. I always say that. It's true. You should not do drugs. Well, hopefully anyone that's on the East Coast is safe and you have power. If you don't, well, you're obviously not watching this. It's kind of fruitless. I have lots of family on the East Coast, and they said, we can't open the doors. I'm like, well, do you need to open the door? Do you need to let the snow in the house? Just leave it outside. It'll clear off in a day. Unless for some reason you need to be outside, my advice is don't go outside. You know, have other people shovel the snow for you, whatever, when it stops. Just saying. You know, I prefer not to go out into the snow unless I'm going to go skiing or if I have to shovel it or, I'm going to do something ridiculous in the snow. Otherwise, leave the snow alone. It didn't do anything to you. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, crap. All right. Well, so I'm currently highly medicated, so sorry if I appear that way. I cracked a tooth. I ate a fucking olive and it had a pit in it. I think I cracked my tooth. At least I chipped it. I know I did that because I've got a chunk missing out of it. And I've got a headache like you can't believe, so I may have taken some painkillers to deal with the fact of cracking my tooth on an olive pit. What do you expect? They're pitted olives, so I just pop in my mouth and crunch away and don't expect to hit the seed. The stone, as they call it. The pit, a stone, right? Someone says the cherry stones. I'm like, what the fuck's a cherry stone? It's the pit. It's the pit. It's not a stone. Just saying. No idea what that was on the microphone screen. That was weird. Anyway, all right. So Monday night. Hope everyone had a good back to work day. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I can tell because the green garbage cans are out. That's how I know my days of the week. Whatever day the garbage cans are out, it's either the day before or the day after, and I know that by the colors of them. Mondays, green are out. Wednesday, blue is out. That's how I live. If you got to live by knowing what day the color scheme is for the garbage cans, you're living a good life. That's all I can tell you. All right, so we talked about Summerfest in Milwaukee, $58 for all 9 days. So, like I said, I might just buy a pair of tickets, even if I don't make it, just to blow them and be like, yeah, I got tickets to Summerfest that were, $116 for 2 tickets. Jesus, you can't even get a single show for that these days. So, worth it. Worth it. And then who knows, maybe I'll drive out to Milwaukee. It's not that far, right? Could be an adventure. A fun road trip. So, what can I say? Anyway, thank you for being here. Don't forget to, like, follow, subscribe, watch, and share. That's what it says. Like, follow, watch, subscribe, and share. So please do those things. All right? Perfect. Brilliant. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Grateful for your attendance. I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow when we'll do this entirely differently, but with similar themes. Music, entertainment. Oh, and we have no Shia LaBeouf sightings. So no new Shia LaBeouf information on his latest arrest down in Mardi Gras. And no new information on Kiefer Sutherland's arrest for assaulting an Uber driver. They're both supposed to be headed to court. And we'll keep you posted on that stuff. The shenanigans of rock stars and movie stars. So, what can I say? Can't hold your booze, shouldn't be drinking it, people. On that note, I will not go get a glass of wine at the moment because I'm on drugs. But I will say, fade to black.